What's up, family? Welcome back to the South Florida Recruiting Report. Marcus Benjamin here representing for Rivals.com, South Florida recruiting reporter, bringing you the latest when it comes to South Florida recruits, when it comes to football. And we're going to talk a little Heisman tonight. We're going to talk a little state championships tonight. So should be fun week ahead. And to talk about it all, I've got my girl C2, New Era C2, Cass Clayton, the queen of South Florida football, to talk about it all. Thanks for joining me tonight, C2.
Thanks for having me, Marcus. It's been a minute, man. It's been a
Yeah,
lot happening, Benjamin. It's been a lot happening, so I'm excited to speak about what's been happening in the past few weeks or so. A lot of good
yeah,
stuff, though. A lot of good stuff in high school football.
yeah, absolutely. A lot of good stuff in high school football. Usually you'll catch us after the Miami Hurricanes games, giving you our take on what happened.
You see my
Shout
hat?
out to yeah, I see you shining. I'm really excited to see the Miami Hurricanes make the playoffs. I mean, just shout out to them. Shout out to the committee more so for them doing the right thing. Pushing those little leprechauns out and putting the Canes in. So tonight, though, I do want to talk a little bit about one of the South Florida recruits that have been shining this year, and that's Fernando Mendoza, C2.
Oh,
Our guy
yes.
is going to New York for the Heisman Trophy ceremony. And as I understand it, you will be in the building in New York, and you'll be getting all of the great interviews from Fernando Mendoza. He blessed us with a after game interview with that win over Ohio State.
Yeah.
So
Did you see it, man? He went through like 50 different like emotion during that interview. But I mean, he's doing amazing things. He was just verklempt at that moment, and I would have been too. Like that was huge, winning against Ohio State. And Mendoza, he's been doing his thing throughout the season, so it's just really good to see a person. Just get over that hump. That do something that people were probably most definitely they were not expecting him to do. So when stuff like that happens, I completely understand. I completely understand where he was in that moment. I completely understand, all the long nights, the early mornings preparing for that moment and for that to become a truth in fruition. Like it's just an amazing feeling. So shout out to him because it's well deserved for him to win, and I really think that will carry over to the Heisman ceremony. I will be there, and I will be watching him, and I will be interviewing him as well. So hopefully I can get something sort of, are those his senior highlights?
yeah, these are senior highlights from
Hey,
Fernando
that boy
Mendoza
doing, yeah,
at
yeah,
Columbus.
being home, from the crib and, doing his thing. Like I'm just super ecstatic, to see. So most definitely will make that connection when I go up to New York, for Mendoza, and I really think he'll bring it home. I really think he'll win it. So
Yeah, I do. I agree with you. It's really a fascinating story to me, to be honest. Fernando Mendoza is a guy who would text me and just be like, "Hey, take a look at my tape. What do you feel like I should improve on?" He was that kind of guy. And shout out to him, his brother Alberto as well, who's also a very talented quarterback. The next guy in the works, and then his dad as well. Great relationship with his dad. Went to the U, played with Mario Cristobal. But the real story here, Cass, is really just the fact that this guy was what we would consider maybe a no star. He was a 3 star. Some sites had him as a 2 star guy. I mean, I don't want to discount the work that I do and the work that the many people who cover recruiting do, but it just goes to show you and everybody watching this remarkable story is that it's not all about the star rating. It's all about what a player really has inside of him to to drive themselves to be great. And that's what I think is has happened here with Fernando Mendoza. This guy wasn't recruited by the major schools at all. I believe he was going to go to maybe an Ivy League school until Cal jumped in last minute and offered him, and he committed to Cal right on the spot. And he did well at Cal. He did well. He almost beat the Hurricanes. So we all remember that game last
Most
season.
definitely.
Yeah, we were up. I don't know, like 1 o'clock in the morning, watching
My
that game,
heart
seeing if Fernando
racing.
Mendoza was going to beat the Miami Hurricanes, and he just fell short. And then he transfers to Indiana, and the only reason, well, one of the main reasons why he ends up at Indiana is because his little brother committed there and
Mhm.
signed. So just to kind of see that he's now a Heisman candidate just blows my mind. It really does. It's like one of those stories that I think could be made into like a movie, just because he was basically one of these no star type of players who is now going to be immortalized in South Florida recruiting history if he indeed wins the Heisman on Saturday.
Hearing that, his story, because you were a part of his story, reminds me of he's my Lamar Jackson. He's my Lamar Jackson of, him not being recruited early on, him actually winning the Heisman in 2016, and then going on to do great things. That just says a lot. And I tell the kids all the time, like, stars do not solely stars is not what you're worth, bro. Like
Yeah.
it's beyond that. We saw it last year in the draft. A number one draft pick started out with 0 stars, bro. To Cam Ward. You know what I mean? I tell them all the time, like, don't just solely depend on stars. Stars is not it. Stars goes out the door, honestly, when you get to college, to me. But at the same time, man, just hearing you talk about Mendoza and the way how hard he worked, and just putting his head down and not worried about, the critics, and just working. That says a lot for him, and it's well deserving for him to get to where he is now. So shout out to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely rooting for him to win the Heisman on Saturday. Like I said, my girl C2 will be in New York for the Heisman ceremony. Definitely follow her. You see the at right there on the screen at New Era C2. She'll give you all the updates on what's going on in New York when we see our boy hoist the Heisman trophy. Other than that, it's all about the state championships this week. We start on Wednesday with Cardinal Mooney and Bowles, but and I know it's all about the South Florida teams who I expect
Absolutely.
to win multiple state championships. We actually have two matchups where we're guaranteed to have a South Florida champion with Chaminade playing Cardinal Newman, and then West Boca and West Broward going at it. You've been at some playoff games this postseason. You know, we'll talk about the matchups that you're most excited about. But before we get into that, I just kind of want to know just what, who's excited you? Who is making big time plays and in your mind, and who are you like? Wow, this kid is really gonna make a name for himself on the next level.
Well, I mean, if the past few weeks has just been unbelievable. Just seeing the kids like put everything into these games. I know it's hard to go back to back, but what West Boca getting through, what they're getting through, and just watching them. Coach Potts has done an unbelievable job of coaching those boys. And again, like it's hard to get a championship back to back. So shout out to West Boca. They've just been killing things until about last week. Last week they kind of, you know, saw some adversity, but they got through it. And it's kind of was the same thing, but last year was a little different. because they did not have their star running back, which is also a Miami commit, Javian Mallory. So to see them go through this journey now with their star player, which he has been doing unbelievable things, and you know now they're facing a West Broward who has also been doing unbelievable things. And if we're being honest, like West Broward has been through it. I think they have been like say okay. Let's just start out with A1, Amir
Yeah.
Sears,
These are highlights
tweaker.
of Javian Calgary, by the way. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, tweaker. Did you see that catch last week? That
Oh,
Moss.
that was
Did you
crazy. That
see?
was
Did you see how? Did you see that?
crazy. Yeah, I did.
Unbelievable. These kids are playing like not like lights out. So just to see, and he plays both ways. So just to see, like knowing both teams, West Boca is very a run heavy team, very dependent. They have two quarterbacks that are two different quarterbacks as well. They are a very well coached team and they are experienced versus a West Briar who has not been, this deep into the playoffs, has not been this experienced, but they definitely do have talent on both sides. So it'll be an interesting dynamic to see that game. I'm really excited because it's two South Florida teams, and West Briar they've been pulling it off every single week. So just seeing like those guys, and I actually spoke to West Briar coaches. B Mac is just one of those guys that's just he's very knowledgeable, so he'll be able to lead this team. But it'll be one of those games like, all right, what's going to happen? So I'm very excited to see that West Friar versus West Boca game. I just think that it, that's one of the top games. I'm to be honest with you, that's one of the top games that I want to see. I think the West taking on rings again. That's an automatic. I think dub for Northwestern. Them actually beating Cent, them putting up a 50 piece on them, that was
Yeah.
impressive to me. That was impressive. I thoroughly enjoyed that game. All the dynamics, the stories, the coaching, new different coaching, the players stepping up. It was just a lot going on in that game. But for them to put up 50 points like that was crazy. So I do expect West to take that game. So it has been exciting watching them, especially that game, which is such a huge rivalry game every single year. Um, but yeah, man, it's just been crazy. Like, where do I start, Benjamin? Where do I start? Yeah.
Yeah. First, let me comment on West Broward and West Boca, the West game, where the West is not in it. But yeah, like West Broward, I think those are the two teams that I'm most surprised to actually hear. To be honest with you, no disrespect to both teams, but I wasn't exactly expecting West Broward to make a run to the state championship. West Boca, when I watch them, I feel like it's Javion Mallory, the running game, and a bunch of guys on offense, at least.
Agree.
So I was
Mhm.
worried about the balance, and I figured that a team would probably, load the box on Javion Mallory and, force them to throw and, sometimes somehow get a victory. Armwood is a team that I was really impressed with. They got every defensive back that they have that's a starter is going D1, is going FBS, so it was hard to even imagine that both of those teams would be here. So I am really excited for that game, especially since it's two South Florida teams. It's two South Florida teams really trying to establish themselves as powerhouses. Here down in South Florida, West Broward has never been here before. West Boca was there for the first time last year.
Last year,
So,
exactly. Hmm.
so it is kind of a changing of the guard, I guess you would say, in some respects. So I'm really kind of interested to see what happens in that game. I want to see Amir Sears, the tweaker, see what he does, and Javion Mallory. Like he had an amazing touchdown run in the last game. I just
Absolutely.
want to see if he can be that power back to power West Boca to another state title. So it kind of tells me like, okay, well, he could be possibly a combination of what Mark Fletcher is and what Gerard Pringle is on the next level. Because
I
I
like
think,
that. I like that.
yeah, I think Mallory has a good combination of size and speed, and he can catch the ball well out of the backfield as well. I think he's really shown his worth. I think Miami Hurricanes fans should really be excited about Javian Mallory, and he has another chance to really kind of prove it this week against West Broward. And then you talked about the West as well. Um, the West is playing a rematch against Reigns. Reigns, they got dog walk last year. I mean, it was like I think it was 41-0. What was the final? Like that shouldn't happen in those state
Something like
championship
that.
games. So I know Reigns is gonna try to hang with them, but I feel like the West is probably better than what they were last year. I think Neiman Lawrence is a quarterback who can really, make a name for himself at the West once it's all said and done. But the duo of what would you call Nick?
No
What, what?
haircut, nappy head Nick. No haircut, nappy head Nick. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, Nick Lanier and Calvin Russell, of course. I think that combination is unstoppable. I don't see a
Unguardable, bro.
dynamic duo like that that's going to be stopped in these state championships. But to me, the most intriguing matchup to me, low key, is Chaminade and Cardinal Newman. To be honest with you, like besides West
Oh,
Coast and West Broward, because I don't know,
okay.
I feel like you saw Cardinal Newman.
Let's get
Everybody
into that,
knows who
please.
Chaminade is. Cardinal Newman got a chance here or no? Lost. Damn, I got C2 all choked up with that question. I think Cardinal Newman does have a chance. That's why I'm posing this question. You got Jaron Hughley, signee with the West Virginia Mountaineers that will, cause some problems, I think, for Chaminade. Chaminade, obviously, dynamic players all over the field. Got Florida State signee and Jason Lowe. Oh, he came back. Well,
Yeah,
you
sorry about
good?
that, man.
Gucci? All right. Yeah, I was asking Cardinal Newman. You saw them,
Yeah,
right?
I've been covering them.
All right.
Yeah,
So they got a chance
under
against
Coach Shaq
Chaminade.
Daniels. Yeah, no, no, no. But you said that's the most exciting game for you. I'm interested to know why.
Intriguing.
Why? Most
Because
intriguing game.
intriguing because I feel like they have a legit. I think everybody thinks that Chaminade is just going to be Chaminade and just kind of, you know, dog walk whoever they play in the state championship final as they have done in the last few years. But I think Cardinal Newman is going to show something here.
And why do you think that? Like, what have you seen from Carter and Newman to?
I just feel like they have a strong running game. I like their running back. I like Jaron
Phoenix?
Hughley. I feel like he's pretty dynamic. And Adam Bolagun Ali is a strong defender at linebacker. I think he's going to be basically have a target on Derek Cooper all night. And I think where this game will get dicey is the passing game. You know, will the freshman Malik Leonard continue to ascend and show that he's one of the best freshmen in the country,
Mm-hmm.
and throw it all over the field, or will he, turn the ball over as we've seen him do in some big games?
I mean, they still have Derek Cooper, and I do agree with you as far as the Chaminade side. Like, this has not been the strongest Chaminade team that I've seen in a minute. So I do agree with you when it comes to that. I've personally been around Carter and Newman. 3 years back, they played Chaminade. Chaminade blew them out the water. It's a different team now, though.
Yeah.
And Snow, which is Jaron Hughley, the quarterback, he's very confident that this is a different team, different era, and he's able to lead his team. He's been leading his team throughout the entire, not just playoffs, but the season. I feel like he is very underrated. He's a dual threat quarterback. He's very talented, um, and I feel like between him, Phoenix, he has a receiver by the name of Leslie Mosley that he's able to go through. Between the offense and having a coach like a Jack Daniels that has won championships and is experienced and going that far, I think they do have a chance. However, I think that Shamnad would just pull it off.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do think Chaminade does pull the win off eventually, but I do think this is closer than the experts think, and I think Carter Newman will challenge Chaminade here in this game. I think they're strong in the trenches, and when you're strong in the trenches in football, you have a chance, and a quarterback that can make plays with his legs and his arm. I think they definitely have a chance to kind of make this a competitive game.
No, I think it'll be a
Same.
good game though.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it all goes down. We'll be in the building at Pitbull Stadium at FIU, so it should be fun. A couple of days for us starting
It's gonna be
this.
some long days, man. We got a
Yeah, it
12:30
is going to
game,
be.
and then what is it? 7 o'clock or 7:30? What is it?
I,
What time is the night game start?
I think it's 7:30. So yeah, it is going to be some long
Woo.
days, especially Friday and Saturday. But yeah. So before we get out of here, I just kind of wanted to get your take on the South Florida games. Who's going to win and why? And we already kind of talked about Chaminade and Newman, so we can skip over that. We both agree Chaminade's going to win that game, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, but West Boca and West Broward, though, how you feeling about this one? Who's gonna win it?
That's honestly, that's the toughest game for me to predict. Um, Man, I know I'm really honestly surprised that West Broward is still going, and oh, man, when you have somebody like A1, that kid is remarkable. He
Yes,
really loves the game of football,
for
and it
sure.
shows so much. And when you have those type of guys on your team playing and leading, it's just really hard to lose. You know what I mean? Because you play for a different reason. But also too, West Boca, out of a million years of being in Palm Beach County, I would never thought that they'll be one a championship team. No one ever will look at West Boca and like, hey, yeah, they're a championship team.
Right.
And then them going back to states again the
Yeah.
very next year. That's history made, right?
Yeah.
It's very hard to go against a coach like Coach Potts, who has since day one has said to me, see too, like we're going to be playing in December. This everything that Coach Potts has said to me became true. So it's really hard to go against his word. I have them winning.
Okay. West Boca it is. I'm gonna go with West Broward on this one, just because I feel the games that they won, they just kind of found a way to win. And they've been down in those games. The win against South Ridge to me was very impressive. Going up to Buchholz, not an easy place to play. To go up there and beat that team, and then now you're coming back to South Florida, and you're playing a West Boca team. I think a lot of people are going to learn about Daquan Adderley, their running back
Yeah.
for West Broca. I mean West Broward. I feel like he's one of the most underrated gems here in South Florida for the 2026 class. I do expect his recruitment to kind of jump up here in this next month before the next signing day in February. Him and Amir Sears, I think these guys can somehow carry this team to their first ever state championship for West Broward, which still sounds really weird to me, but maybe that's the new normal for us, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how it shakes out. What is normal is St. Thomas and Lakeland. That seems like that always happens like every year. It's like these are the same two teams. This is like traditional teams that usually meet each other. Lakeland, not the team of previous years that was somewhat feared. St. Thomas, maybe not as good as of a St. Thomas teams that we've seen in previous years as well. But to me, this is a no-brainer. I think St. Thomas. I've always been you know that I've been saying that St. Thomas has been the best team in South Florida
Absolutely.
for weeks
They
now.
showed up.
They definitely shown that, and then with their last game beating Chaminade, I think they confirmed that. I think this is going to be a blow, to be honest with you. I think St. Thomas, controls the game. This might be a boring one, a snooze fest on
Think so?
Thursday
What's
night.
what's
SBA.
the have you seen Lakeland's quarterback? I saw some film on that kid.
Yeah. What'd you think?
Very talented, run heavy, might be the might be some trouble for um the boys if they can't stop him.
Okay.
Um I'm trying to see if I can pull up his what, but anywho, they do have a quarterback that is very good. I mean, obviously he can't. Honestly, I feel like defense wins championships. To be honest with you, but I mean, someone has to score, right? You can't win if you don't score. But yeah, I saw some film on him. I was really impressed. So we'll see how that pans out.
Okay. Definitely. Definitely. But yeah, I think it's going to be Bobo. A lot of people also think Reigns and Northwestern is going to be a blow here.
I I think that matchup, I think it'll be Northwestern again. Honestly, no one's touching Northwestern at this time. They shown that after beating one of their toughest contenders and putting up 50 points. Um, but also based off last year, they blew them out like crazy. Like it
Yeah,
was a nothing by halftime. And like I'm not too fond of those type of games. Like it shouldn't be that way, but it is what it is. Another championship ring for Northwestern Bulls.
absolutely. I think they're going for their ninth state title and back to back. So we'll see if the West definitely completes that feat on Friday night. Looks like it is.
Yeah.
Last one between South Florida, a South Florida team is an interesting one. It's another rematch, and I think everybody kind of remembers this rematch or remembers the original because Malachi Tony had a game of the ages last season
Yeah.
playing quarterback and almost had a perfect game throwing the football, which is just remarkable. And they get Jones, Deron Coleman, the Miami quarterback commit, has a chance to get some revenge here against American Heritage. Question for you, C2: does he get his revenge or not?
What the kids say, get back don't have no date on it. Get back don't have no date on it. They love saying that. I think this would be an interesting matchup as well, right? Because truth be told, Benjamin, I feel like the entirety of South Florida play is at a downside this year. That's including the top teams. That's including the Chaminade. That's including American Heritage. That's including, top programs that are in South Florida. Deron Coleman is very hungry to win the game, right? When we have a healthy American Heritage team, which we have not seen this season, that plays a huge factor into this game. One, I remember going to American Heritage STA game. American Heritage Plantation was not the part of football that they should be, that I've seen in the past. But they also had key players out, right? Now, if we're talking about get back, they do not have Malachi Tony anymore. This is a whole
Yeah, he's
different
not
team.
walking through that door.
Right. This is a whole entire different team. Um this was tough, man. I'm not gonna lie because um I know when someone's as hungry as a Deron Coleman, a great quarterback, by the way. You got a Larry Miles to throw the ball to. That
Yeah.
duo is crazy, crazy duo. But
Mhm.
will it be enough? I don't know what their defense is looking like. And I want to know how healthy American Heritage is. Um, that would determine who will play this game, who will win this game. I would say that.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you. Heritage has a really good running back in Jonathan Bueno, and I think if Heritage can control the game with the running game, then it's Heritage's
That's
game to
key.
lose. If
That's key.
not, then it should be a Darion Coleman show, man. Like I'm hoping that he can really show what he can do because there's some doubters out there, as you know, for Darion Coleman. Like just because of his size, I think people kind of doubt that he can be the quarterback for the Hurricanes on the next level. He committed to the Hurricanes a while back, and he's locked in. And a lot of people think that he could possibly compete for the starting job next season. That's yet to be seen. We'll see if that happens. If that happens, that will be definitely a headline.
I don't know.
But
We'll see.
starts here though. It starts here in the championship game, because American Heritage they got some dogs on defense. Amari Nugent is a defensive back that I love. I think is going to be excellent on the next level. And Kamani Morales, the Georgia Tech signee, I think he is one of the best linebackers in South Florida. So Darion Coleman is going to have his hands full against this American Heritage defense. So it's really going to be an intriguing
He talks
matchup.
a good talk. Hmm.
Yeah, it's really going to be an
He talks a
intriguing
good
matchup.
talk, so you don't have to. You gotta back it up, Darion. I'm sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead. Gina.
but yeah, like I agree with you. You got to back it up. You got to show improve on the field. By the end of the night or the end of the day, because that is the early game on Saturday. By the end of that game, he better show that he left it all on the field. Even if they end up losing, you kind of want to see for Miami Hurricanes fans because I know there's a lot of Miami Hurricanes fans who watch
Mhm.
this podcast. Um, you want to see him with a strong performance so you can feel confident about recruiting the quarterback position. Because what have we seen in the last few years? They went to the portal twice in a row
Right.
because they weren't confident in the quarterbacks that they recruited. At some point, you have to develop these quarterbacks into college level quarterbacks. So
Mhm.
if Darion Coleman has a strong performance in this championship game, then they probably have a base to kind of move forward. He's going to battle Luke Nickel. Luke Nickel's still on the squad, and I don't
Right.
expect him to leave. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see, has he progressed from last season, and does Miami really have a quarterback of the future?
Well, what I can say from seeing Darion at Green Tree every time he comes and he's on the field during drills and reps, Coach Shannon Dawson has like a twinkle in his eye. He loves Darion Coleman. He compares him to one of the best quarterbacks that ever played at the University of Miami, Cam Ward. Um, he compares
Nice.
his play, his demeanor, his style of how Cam, will come in and how Cam came in that one year. He compares it to what Darion would be like, and I say they both have the same type of demeanor. Like they're ball players and they're really confident in what they do, and they just Darion's that type of guy as well. But what I can say is Malachi Tony did have a year last year. Um, like you said, almost throwing a perfect game. He wasn't even supposed to be the quarterback he was not initially the quarterback for American Heritage, but he came in and he did what he's supposed to do. Fast forward, looking back, now correct me if I'm wrong. Malachi Tony has quite a few passing touchdowns at the University of Miami already as a freshman.
He does.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure, like you said, they Miami fans will be watching, but Miami will be watching as well, because you know coming in from he'll be in next year. He'll be there next year, but they'll be watching. They watch for stuff like that, and I know Shannon Dawson excited. He's ecstatic to have him. Like you said, Luke Nichols still there. The last 2 seasons they've been pulling quarterbacks from the portal. I feel like they'll still pull someone from the portal, but at some point, man, when you have talent, did you see Luke throw in that last in the last game against was it Syracuse? He threw a bomb. It was perfect. I
Yeah.
like that. Anyway, Deron Coleman has to come to play. I
Yeah.
think that'd be the deciding factor. Quarterbacks are leaders. They set the tone for the game. Don't know, man, who's gonna take this off, but I'm gonna go with American Heritage Plantation.
Yeah. This is a tough one for me to call, to be honest with you. The revenge factor, I think, is real, and but it's hard for me to go against a South Florida team that uses a running game and defense to win games. Which is a great formula to win a state championship. So I think a Heritage, pulls this one out somehow, some way. They pull this out, and they do have an experienced quarterback in Leon Strouder, won a state championship with Northwestern last season. So he is in unprecedented territory himself because he can win a state championship with two different teams,
Mhm.
which I'm not sure has ever happened. But transfer portal is real cool too.
Anything can happen. Yeah.
Absolutely. So should be a fun weekend. I know you're
Did
gonna
we
enjoy
miss
yourself.
anything? Did we miss a game at all? I feel like we're
South
missing a game.
a South Florida team. No,
Oh
we
no,
had,
that's
yeah,
I guess not so. But I'm
yeah,
super excited, man. Man, it's really cool when you get to cover these guys throughout the entire season, and it comes to down to one game. And either way,
yeah,
I'm C2, man. I got love for everybody, but it's just really cool to see these guys do something. Either way, history will be made, and I'm just there to support the guys. So I'm really excited to see who will strap up boots and get the
yeah,
job done. I love
absolutely.
that. I love it because I've been hearing it from both sides, all different teams. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
absolutely. I'm a South Florida guy, South Florida girl. We are rooting for South Florida. I think it's okay and it's safe to say that. No disrespect to the other Florida teams for y'all when y'all not playing South
Oh
Florida,
yeah.
but I will show my bias on that for sure.
Let me just say that just then I was referring to my South Florida teams. So those South
Yeah,
Florida games, that West Bryan, West Boca, man, both love to both of those teams. All South Florida teams, I rep home first. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I see. I see. That's Cass Clayton, C2. You can follow her at News Era C2. Like I said, she is going to be at the Heisman ceremony this weekend and will also be at state championship games. Thanks for joining me tonight, C2, and I
Thank you
look
for
forward to seeing
having
you again.
me. I have to get on here more often, man. Appreciate you so much. You are truly that guy here in South Florida. It's always cool to talk to you.
Thanks. I appreciate that. You are that girl as well. So keep doing your thing, and we'll see each other soon.
All right.
All right, that is going to wrap it up for the South Florida Recruiting Report. Make sure you follow my stuff on rivals.com. You can search Marcus Benjamin articles on 3 to see all of my recruiting news. And also make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, the South Florida Recruiting Report. Until the next episode. Oh, I was fucking